3 in a row. The Rockies have won 3 straight. The Runnin' Rocks ready to come into your living room next, right here on the Rockies Baseball Network. Sonic, America's Drive-In. Orlando Arrojo making his 3rd start in a Rockies uniform.
Fastball, slider, changeup. You heard us talk about the angles. Holds runners on an average way, and I'm meaning that he mixes that up by a lot of moves to first base. Still has a fairly high leg kick. He's a ground ball pitcher in this ballpark, important with the defense behind you.
The first batter for the Cardinals, Fernando Vina. Vina will lead off. He'll be followed by Polanco and then Edmonds. First of 2 today, and the first pitch from Arrojo is in there for a strike. Fernando Vina, acquired in the offseason from Milwaukee. Didn't play much last year for the Brewers. In '98, though, he was an all-star. 2 strikes to Vina.
Well, I like the attitude that Arrojo has taken early today, Dave. All of his pitches, that fastball right on the inside half of the plate, getting the attention of a left-handed hitter. It is so common when you're a sinker ball pitcher. A lot of guys categorize you and say you can't throw that good hard sinker down and in on a left-handed hitter, or to get inside with that 4-seam fastball. But Arrojo, nice job there on Vina.
Cardinals losing 3 straight. As you see the sign from Maine, the curveball. Outside with that, it's 2-2. The Cardinals now 7-4, leading their division by a game. Cardinals go back home after tonight's game. Rockies on the road. Little pop-up on the infield. Lansing shading his eyes from the sun. And isn't it good to see the sun again? Cardinals lineup brought to you by the Rocky Mountain News. We just saw Vina. Placido Polanco, boy, what a series he's had in the first 2 games. Edmonds, he's struggled some in this series. Just 1 hit, that's a home run. Then Howard Langford, Tatis, Drew, Matheny, and Hentgen. Defense brought to you by Coca-Cola. For the Rockies in that outfield is Bragg, Goodwin, and Walker. Cirillo, Perez, Lansing, Helton around the infield. Maine behind the plate. Remember, Arrojo started that doubleheader against the Reds on Monday, but on that, he actually had the ball go off the middle finger of his pitching hand. It was off of Dante Bichette's bat. He had to leave the game with a contusion, but seems to be fine right now.
Yeah, the double play ball was hit right back up the middle.
High fly deep to left field, and Polanco has just left the yard. His 2nd home run. Remember, he led off the game the other night when Scott Carl was pitching. The game's first pitch, a home run. And Polanco goes deep here to make it 1-0 Cardinals.
Yeah, the second pitch that he saw from Arrojo was just a fastball. Looked like it left right in the middle of the plate, the heart of the plate. Polanco was able to turn it around. You see, there's that angle, that sidearm fastball. Polanco stayed right in on top of it. It's a great shot from one of the robotic cameras down in the Rockies dugout. Looking at the contact and the swing of Polanco for the home run.
Polanco, 2 home runs in this series, and they have come in the first inning. Well, here's Jim Edmonds. He hits a high fly ball to left field. Bragg coming over, shading his eyes from the sun. Drifting back near the warning track, he makes the play. How about Placido Polanco? 2 home runs in the series. Not really a home run hitter, but you couldn't tell it by what he has done at Coors Field.
Yeah, he only hit 3 home runs in his career, if I'm not mistaken, prior to coming in here in this series. Now all of a sudden he's got 5.
Here's Thomas Howard, the switch hitting player for the Cardinals, a guy who plays first base and some in the outfield. Howard in this game is playing in right field. Fastball inside, 2-0. Well, Polanco had hit only 2 career home runs until he has hit 2 in this series.
Yeah, I noticed something too with the Cardinal hitters, the first 2 particularly, Vina and Polanco. They took a lot of time. They dug in, they got their footwork where they wanted it to be. Call time, step back out. That could be the hitters of the Cardinals trying to disrupt some concentration.
Walker hardly moves. That's a home run. Into the Rockies bullpen and out again. Thomas Howard with his 3rd home run of the year. So Arroyo has given up 2 home runs here in the first inning. 2-0 Cardinals. You remember the other night when the Cardinals hit 3 home runs in the first. Then the Rockies had that incredible 10-run second inning.
Surprisingly for Howard, he's getting some playing time with the injuries. It comes through here. His 3rd home run of the year, 11th RBI in the year so far for Howard.
Now you pitch up there, and you're probably going to be in trouble. That's more like it, right down at the knees to Langford.
For a ground ball pitcher, you got to get the ball down in the strike zone, not up in the strike zone. 34th National League home run for Thomas Howard, his 39th of his career.
Off the front foot of Langford, who has really struggled. Langford 0 for his last 17. 0 for 6 in this series. Langford hitting just a .122. Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, you remember the Cardinals of old when they had Vince Coleman and Willie McGee, the running Redbirds? Well, now they're the bashing Redbirds. Look at that, 31 home runs now, 11 more than anybody else.
Well, part of that stems from playing at Enron Field in Houston and then coming here to Colorado. McGuire with only 3 home runs so far on the year, not in the lineup, not in the ballpark. He's in St. Louis having his back treated. Well, they hope to have him back by Tuesday.
Well, the Cardinals, if they keep up this pace, and they'll tell you that they've played at both Enron Field and now Coors Field, but if they keep up this pace, they will smash any home run record by a team in a season. They'll beat it by something like 175 home runs. Langford, line drive, left field. Bragg right there to make the play. That'll do it. Ball in the air from the Cardinals. A pop out, 2 fly balls to left, and 2 long fly balls that left the yard. First, Placido Polanco to make it 1-0, and then Thomas Howard. 2-0 Cardinals before the Rockies can swing the bat. St. Louis, Pat Hentgen by way of Toronto.
Fastball, and he'll throw the cut fastball hard in, a slur, which will break a little different break than right over the top. It'll be more of a sideward break away from the right-handed hitters. Pretty good defensive and a decent move to first base. The runners will have to be on their toes.
One thing about Pat Hentgen is he is a fly ball pitcher. Ball 1 here to Tom Goodwin. Goodwin hitting .256, 3 for 12 on the homestand. He looks at a strike. It's 1-1.
Well, you would think too. He spent most of his career, Hentgen, in the American League, coming over to the National League. You would think that many Rockies might have seen Hentgen, but they have. Bragg's faced him, Cirillo, Goodwin, Hammonds, Hunter, Lansing, Ledesma, Manto, Shumpert, and Maine.
Close at first, even though it was just a routine play to second. Let's take a look at that Cardinal defense, brought to you by Coca-Cola. In the outfield, it's Langford, Drew, and Howard. Drew, a good center fielder. Really, they've got a lot of guys that are capable of playing here. Edmonds, he's at first base, but he's a center fielder by trade. Vina, Polanco, Tatis round out that infield. Matheny behind the plate. Now, Pat Hentgen, you see, 2-0 on the year, 4.63 earned run average.
Off to a good start. I attribute a lot of that to the fact that he's in the National League, where he's been in the American League, a former American League Cy Young Award winner, 96, 20 ball games. Dave, in those years, 95, 96, 97, Hentgen was healthy, thought of as the premier right-handed pitcher in baseball, went 45 and 35 in Toronto. In 98, 99, he was at 500, 23 and 23. Toronto felt they could use the offense, and they ended up giving up Pat Hentgen. He is hoping to come back and prove them wrong, and all of baseball wrong. And it's a great acquisition. The Cardinals were able to trade for some starting pitching. Darryl Kyle, he's 2-1 now in their rotation. Dave Veers. Venice was able to be signed as a free agent, and then Hentgen comes over. Pretty impressive when you have those kind of guys with the success they've had in history.
Ground ball up the middle, Polanco. 2 gone for the Rockies in the first. I said, Hentgen a fly ball pitcher, and so far 2 ground ball outs.
Well, we talked about Rojo being a ground ball pitcher, and I looked it up in his last start in 6 innings. He only had 6 fly ball outs total, and in the first inning, he has 3 fly ball outs and 2 home runs. Here's Hentgen, supposed to be giving up fly balls, and he's getting ground balls.
Did these guys switch jerseys or something?
What happened?
Well, here's Larry Walker hitting .314, 9 for 20 on this homestand. Walker 0 for 3 Friday night. Looks at a fastball, ball 1. Larry Walker still looking for that first home run. I'll make a prediction. He'll do it by the end of today. And a good cut there, just under the fastball, and it's 1-1 now to Walker. The shortstop Polanco taking it. They had the shift on, and he's able to throw out Larry Walker. So 3 ground ball outs from the Rockies. Polanco and company. They lead 2-0 going to the second. Understand the other great American pastime, making money. Here's Fernando Tatis. So Rojo dropped down and gets strike 1 on Tatis. Tatis 1 for 3 in the series. Did not play Friday. That one hit a home run. Up and down again. That one inside.
Let's go back and look at the first pitch from Rojo as he faced Tatis. A nice rotation of the shoulders. Hit the ball well, then through the heat. Right in there for strike 1. See that follow through, how much farther he is on the third base side. That's what makes it so disruptive to a right-handed hitter. In his first start at Coors Field, Rojo threw 19 pitches in that start. In his first inning today, he threw 18 pitches. If you look back and you try to map things out in that first start, Rojo went out, and he's pretty successful. He had a strikeout, gave up a hit, and a couple fly ball outs. Not so good this time in the first inning.
Tatis got in front of that one and fouled it off.
See, the difference was that was a breaking ball. It looked like a breaking ball to me. The board's reading a fastball here at Coors Field, but it looked like a pitch that he left on the inside half of the plate that he wanted to put on the outside corner. I tried to watch where Maine set up in this sequence of pitching. They were Maine setting way up on that outside half, and the pitch ended up on the middle half, and it was up in the strike zone. For a ground ball pitcher, high strikes are not a good thing.
Maine wanted the fastball. He shook off, goes to the curveball, and I guess Rojo was right. He got the curveball and the strikeout.
Well, your catcher may have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't believe in the pitch selection, then you're not going to be as successful. You always have a second thought in your mind. This way, Rojo already had it made up what he wanted to do. He'd shown him the sidearm fastball, and he comes back here with that sidearm slider. That's a great shot of it on a slow motion camera directly behind home plate. Hope you enjoy that throughout the year. As a former pitcher and as an announcer here, it's great to watch the rotation and the spin of the ball coming in and the setup of a catcher.
J.D. Drew, the batter. Drew, you can see, with 4 home runs, he has only 7 hits. He's 7 for 14 this year. He has hit the long ball, fastball, caught the inside edge at the knees. That's exactly where Rojo wants it. It's 0-2 now. Drew 2 for 3 in this series. First of 2 today. A sunny Sunday. Temperature in the 60s. Swing and a miss. Rojo has come back to strike out the first 2 men here in the second.
Didn't even look like the same pitcher.
No.
Came out that time, got on top of a breaking ball, and was able to drop it right on the inside half. Look where Maine's asking for the pitch, and Rojo delivers, and he gets the strikeout.
So Rojo with 2 down, nobody on, faces Mike Matheny. Matheny off to a good start. You see his numbers, and 2 for 4 in this series. You notice that Rojo, he'll drop down a whole lot more against the right-handed hitters. And that you would figure. It's easier for the left-handed hitter to pick up that sidearm motion. comes over the top that time, and Matheny fouls it down the line. You know, the 2 strikeouts in this inning by the Cardinals, I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise anymore. Last year, they struck out 1,202 times, which was the most in the major leagues. Right now, the Cardinals are on pace to strike out 1,296 times, so 94 more than last year. Tony La Russa knows he's got a club that can bash some home runs, but also some free swingers. High pop foul behind the plate, out of play.
Well, they've got the guys who can hit. You know, you look at all the combinations, and if you don't have a lot of power guys, you hope to have a good pitching staff and pretty good defense behind them. But what the Cardinals have is they have a very strong starting staff. If the guys can go back and live up to history, the Kyles can go back and win 15 games again. If Hentgen can win 12 to 15, Venice, if he can win 12 to 15, then you've got Veers in the bullpen. The guy that last year could prove himself.
Strike 3 called on Matheny, and Arroyo strikes out the side, getting Tatis, Drew, and Matheny in order. So we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Arroyo back on track. Still 2-0 Cardinals.
Hey, look at this. What is it? It's different.
Slider right in the middle of the plate for the 3rd strikeout in the inning. If he keeps the balls down in that location, he'll be successful and hopefully keep the ball in the ballpark.
Jeff Cirillo will lead things off. Cirillo hitting .258, but you go beyond the numbers with Cirillo. He's a guy that has a .410 on base percentage. A lot of walks for Jeff Cirillo. On the homestand, he's 5 for 13, and his first home run came on Friday night. Cirillo is an extra base machine, isn't he? Cirillo with 8 hits. He has 6 doubles and a home run, 1 single.
2 years in a row in Milwaukee, 46 doubles, and then he turns around, comes in here, and as soon as he gets here, all of a sudden the doubles start coming. He had a couple of years in Milwaukee where I thought Cirillo had hit 46 triples and 39 last year, or doubles, excuse me.
Fly ball center field. Drew is there. There's the first fly ball out.
And he's living up to his billing. Cirillo had hit 46 doubles in 96 and 97, and then in 98, 31, and then in 99, he hit 35 doubles to go with 15 home runs.
Here's Todd Helton. He had his hitting streak snapped on Friday, but he only went 0 for 1 with 3 walks. His hitting streak might continue right here. It will with a home run! His 4th. That ties Lansing and gets the Rockies within 1.
Not only does he tie Lansing with his 4th home run, he also ties Mike Lansing in RBIs as a team leader with 11. And again, I asked him the other day when he hit the home run, I said, you smoked that ball. And he said, yeah, well, I think the reply would be the same here. Fastball right in the heart of the plate. Hentgen gives a glance up at the sky, but there's not much to look at except the backside of a baseball going into the Rockies bullpen.
Just like that, the Helton home run pulling the Rockies to within 1. Just to finish my thoughts on Helton going 0 for 1 with 3 walks, George. I mean, if you're going to end a hitting streak, I guess that's the way to do it, because he really was seeing the ball well and got aboard 3 times.
But a smart thing was he was patient.
Yes.
You know, he didn't try to swing thinking, oh, I need to keep this hitting streak alive, and swing at possibly some pitches that he shouldn't have swung at. So as a result of that, he ends up getting the walks, and it pays dividends with some runs scored.
Aaron Bragg, the batter, 1-1 to Bragg. I had the opportunity to witness Pat Hentgen at his best. Hentgen making a start against the Kansas City Royals back on the 3rd of May in '94. In that start, he went the distance, giving up just 2 hits in a shutout, and he struck out 14. It was a ball game where Kevin Apier started for the Royals. I remember it vividly at Skydome. The game lasted about an hour and 45 minutes. 1-0 Toronto, the final score.
When you throw strikes and you throw hard, you got two guys on the hill doing it together. It makes for a quick ball game.
You wonder if that home run by Helton rattles Pat Hentgen just a little bit as he walks Bragg, the next hitter. What's on tap for us, brought to you by Budweiser. We will not televise tonight's game. We will, though, tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, starting at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. 6:30 was the pregame show. And then on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, too. We don't have room for that, but those games back on Denver's WB2. Helton the home run. Bragg is aboard for Neifi Perez. Yesterday's day off did Perez some good. You remember when he was spiked in that game in Florida? He got a nasty cut, almost from knee down to ankle, because of that spiking at second base. And a lot of people in the Rockies camp feel like that might have slowed him. We saw him on Friday making a couple of nice defensive plays up the middle, and the Rockies feel like he's got his legs back under him.
Well, it's tough anytime that, because as a shortstop, it affects you in so many ways on trying to get into the hole with the balls, and then all of a sudden trying to go back, you know, trying to get yourself underneath when you're inside of trying to swing the bat as well. Well, I don't think Pat Hentgen, after to watch the delivery start, legs up, whoop, timeout. He didn't appreciate much of this, and kind of gave it inside a little bit to Perez. That's old school baseball. 101.
Take a page right out of Bob Gibson's playbook from Cardinal days. Two strikes on Perez. Would you do that, Norm?
Did I ever do that, or would I ever do that?
Would you?
Well, I mean, I think it's a late call by Diaz, the umpire, to give him timeout. Not rooting against the Rockies in any way, or Neifi Perez. I just think it's a late call. Once you lift the leg and start the motion, that's a little late to call it then.
Up high. 1-2 now to Perez. Perez on Friday night, 1 for 4. An RBI single in the 8th inning to give the Rockies a little cushion. Just 4 for 21, though, on the homestand, and hitting just over 200. Just a piece of it to stay alive.
Well, you know that the commissioner has changed so much with the umpires and the replacement of guys that have been added to the list. It's now all under one umbrella, the American League and the National League. And Laz Diaz is a young rookie umpire that had started out of Henry Wendelstadt's staff out of his school in '91 and has worked his way to the big leagues. He's one of the new 25 replaced. You come in and start working at the big league level.
Hentgen just making him wait. Perez didn't dare call timeout again. That one doesn't get far enough away from Matheny.
Well, it does two things. It disrupts the thought process of your runner at first base and Bragg, and it also disrupts a little bit of what maybe Perez is trying to do at the plate as far as timing is concerned. See, I like those new catcher's masks.
I do too.
They look pretty neat.
I've never put one on. Have you?
Parker's got one at home. Put his on. It's a little tight though.
I can imagine.
But comfortable. Very comfortable to
He's
work.
11.
Well, that's all right. Still got to have a mask.
Strike 3 called. Well, Perez strikes out in that battle. 2 out now here in the second.
Well, remember that Hentgen's worked the inside half. And there he comes right back with that cutter, a good cutter, right down at the knees. You got the strike 3 called. Tell you what, when his fastball and his arm was, you know, the innings finally, I think, ate up with it and got a little bit tired. But before that, when he won all those ball games, he was at 94, 95 miles an hour. Tough to catch up to with a really, really hard slurve. Last fastball and a strikeout to Perez, 91 miles an hour. That's what Hentgen will do to disrupt the timing at first base. Is he'll step off, he'll throw to first quite a bit to give his catcher an opportunity, or a better opportunity, to try to throw out the runner at first base. Number of ways you can hold guys on. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to have that quick a move.
1 ball, no strikes to Brent Maine. Pat Hentgen, growing up in Detroit, went to Fraser High School.
No, I didn't know there was a high school named after me.
Fraser.
Oh, okay.
up in Detroit. He's a number 5 pick or 5th round pick by the Blue Jays in '86. Big fan of Jack Morris. He was in 10th grade when the Tigers won the World Series in 1984. And you might have seen that pitch inside Neifi Perez. That was Jack Morris's. Here goes Bragg, and boy, they got him by a mile. Bragg gunned down by Matheny, and that'll do it for the Rockies here in the second. But the Rockies get on the board. Todd Helton with his 4th home run of the year. It's 2-1 as we head to the 3rd.
Lori sees Dad close a hot deal. Will he kiss and tell?
Did the producer say anything about the movie?
Oh, she's definitely interested in me. For the part.
Daddy's not a very good actor, is he?
All new movie stars. Then, 2 close friends, each dreaming of the other. It can only mean one thing.
I think our dreams might be telling us that we have feelings for each other.
You know, in my dreams, you don't talk.
All new Zoe.
Originally, he has kind of bounced around, trying to come back with injuries. And we hope Roger Bailey can make the full comeback, because I'm telling you, George, in '97, for this month or two, during the first part of that '97 season, he pitched similarly to Greg Maddux. He was that good. Hentgen pops up the first one. Cirillo comes in to make the diving grab. Oh, man. Cirillo just saved the day. A pop-up. Helton, Cirillo, Maine were all there. Cirillo comes in to make a great catch.
Well, this is great hustle by Cirillo and by Helton and by Maine, but more by Cirillo. Now watch, he's recognizing about right here. Maine's looking at it backwards. He can't see it. He calls off Maine. You see Arrojo, he's typically the general on the mound, saying who's got it. Helton got there late, but fortunately the hustle of Cirillo gets the out.
So Cirillo makes a tremendous catch on a pop-up. As all three were converging, and Cirillo, you're right, with a good hustle to come in and make the play. That was a great look, too, from that robotic camera. As you saw Cirillo charging in from third.
You see everybody converge on the play, and as a pitcher, you're taught to get out of the way. Everybody doesn't think you're an athlete anyway. They tell you to get out of the way and allow the athletes to make the catch. And Arrojo did the smart thing by standing right on top of the mound. Remember, too, though, you've got the sun directly up above home plate, so that's going to be difficult for the hitters to be able to handle, or, excuse me, the fielders fighting the sun to make a catch.
Fernando Vina, the batter. He popped out to Lansing to start things for the Cardinals in the first. Way out in front of that one. Way up into the crowd. 2 strikes.
Well, I know that Arrojo gave up a couple of home runs back in the first inning, but so far, 8 out of 10 hitters he's faced has been strike one. You hear Marcel Latchman preach that so much as the pitching coach for the Rockies. Get ahead, throw strikes, and then we can have a little bit of fun. 69% of his pitches today have been strikes.
Ball and 2 strikes to Vina. Base hit, poked through the hole between Perez and Cirillo, and Vina's aboard. Rockies baseball is brought to you by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By US West Wireless, the simpler way to stay in touch. And by Original Coors, there's only one mile-high taste. With George Frazier, I'm Dave Armstrong, watching the great catch of Jeff Cirillo one more time. Easily could be 2 on here with nobody out. Instead, 1 on, 1 out. And Vina on at first base. Placido Polanco, the batter. He homered in his first at-bat. Home run to left field.
Quick beat by Arrojo, too. I liked what I saw there. He was very quick to first base. A lot of pitchers, whenever they pull it out, get another snap throw at first. Well, the closer play for Vina. A lot of pitchers have a tendency to do what they call long arm. They'll pull the arm directly way back. Here you see he caught Vina just starting to take another stride, and a snap throw over, almost got him. Tim Timmons, your first base umpire. Mike Riley taking the day off with a split doubleheader. He'll come in tonight and work that ball game.
Vigna in his All-Star year, 98, stole 22 bases for Milwaukee. That year he hit 311. Last year I mentioned Vigna didn't play much, just 37 games for the Brewers. Placido Polanco.
Well, go back. Polanco's first at bat, he got a fastball on the second pitch and hit it out into the seats. Rojo went right back in there again with a 90-mile-an-hour heater on the inside half. Probably where Polanco thinking, okay, he's not going to throw me that heater again on the inside half. He'll probably go with that slider, and I'm going to take it. The mind games that go on between a pitcher and a hitter.
Ball foul. Still 2 strikes on Polanco. Rockies have already turned 7 double plays this year. Vigna took a couple of steps and came back. Lansing, a slow roller, only played first base. He gets Polanco by an eyelash. Vigna takes second.
Well, they give you so many different looks. Rojo with 3 straight fastballs. Now you have Maine set up way on the outside half of the plate. And you get the slider. And that's exactly. Look on your U.S. West cam from way up on top. That pitch way outside. He got Polanco to reach for it and was able to get the out. Still with that runner in scoring position, and this is a guy, Edmonds. I know that he's first at bat, Dave. He's not very successful with a fly ball to left field, but lifetime .625 against the Rojo.
Maine pouncing on that ball. Vigna has to stay at second. George, isn't it nice to see the Rocky catchers setting up outside and the Rocky pitchers hitting the target?
Well, that's the key to it. You know, you set up out there for a reason. The guys don't want you to throw it to me. And last year, that was not the case.
No.
Guys all over the strike zone. It might be a strike, but it's called control within the strike zone.
Outside, 2-0. First base open. Edmonds dangerous, 5 home runs. He's 1 for 8 though in this series. Came into town with a hitting streak alive. That snapped at 9. Took something off of that pitch. 83 miles an hour, and it's 2-1.
Colorado Rockies have a new look for 2000. The Colorado Rockies dugout store is the best location to get your brand new authentic collection jersey, hats, and jackets. Visit one of those convenient locations in Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins, Greeley, and Colorado Springs, or Littleton, or just call 303-832-TEAM.
It's one of those new looks, the purple jersey.
That's right.
I like it. Don't always wear this. We also have the traditional pinstripe top at home and on the road. A lot of combinations, though. Is that usually the pitcher's choice?
Manager's choice. I think so. Or maybe you may go to Walker, you may go to Rojo, whoever it may be, to say, what do you guys want to wear today? Or it could be Chico McGinn, the clubhouse man. He may put it up. So today we're going purple, or first ball game, all white, second ball game.
Oh, Rojo. Maybe a semi-intentional pass to Edmonds. We don't know. We can't read his mind. But Edmonds, you know how dangerous he is. But how about Howard? He hit a home run his first time up. His 3rd of the year. Howard making only his 2nd start of the year. And Tony LaRusse glad to put him in there with that first inning home run. Good fastball. Strike one. That fastball at 92 from Arojo. You start to think with a split doubleheader that it might be an advantage to Arizona. The Rockies playing the Diamondbacks starting tomorrow at the Bob. But consider this too, the Diamondbacks, they play a night game on the road tonight in San Francisco.
Well, the disadvantage for the Rockies is if a guy like Arojo or Bohannon, they don't get deep into the ball game, and all of a sudden they've got to go to the bullpen early and blow it out with 2 games today. So far, so good for Arojo. He's into the 3rd inning.
On the flip side of that, if they both go deep into the game, one of them is going to have to pitch on 3-day rest on Thursday. Up the middle, base hit from Thomas Howard. Here comes Vina to score, and there goes Edmonds to 3rd. RBI single from Howard. He's 2 for 2 with 2 ribbies.
Yeah, you try to go back and think about that walk and maybe what the concerns were here, but he leaves that slider right out over the plate. Howard able to hit it by him and hit it out into the outfield. No chance at all to get Vina at the plate. Edmonds on the move with 2 outs.
Well, Howard paying big dividends in only his 2nd start. Now Ray Langford. At 3rd, Edmonds. At 1st, Howard. Langford looks at ball 1 up high and outside.
See, that's what happens. You work deep into the counter. You fall behind hitters, and now all of a sudden you look at something with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Now all of a sudden you're looking at a run in, 2 outs, runners 1st and 3rd, and a guy that's swinging the bat pretty good. It concerns you. That's where I think Latchman talks so much about working down in the strike zone, working strikes, getting ahead in the count. We saw it the other day too, and Latch is going to come out and visit with Arojo right now. Saw it the other day, and you see it so often with visiting guys that come in. The Rockies for years were so good at working guys deep into the count. You'd look up 5th inning, they have 90 pitches. Well, they got to make a switch, get into the bullpen, they blow out the bullpen. And I think other teams have learned a lot from that. Absolutely. And all of a sudden they're trying to do the same exact things, get a high pitch count, get them out of the ball game. 3rd inning right now, and Arojo's at 51 pitches in the ball game.
You notice Nafi Perez joining in on that conversation as an interpreter for Arojo.
Right, I think Arojo understands certain parts of the English language, but it's a lot nicer when you've got a Spanish-speaking shortstop that can come in and relay a lot maybe what Latch is saying to Arojo. It's not like Arojo's a rookie either. I know just 2 years in the big leagues, but 180 wins for Cuba and 10-0 in international play. He has pitched in the big ball games and has not lost those.
Latchman doesn't have that luxury with Masato Yoshi. There's no Japanese infielder.
No, he's the interpreter in the dugout that helps out there, but not when he goes to the mound.
2-1 now to Ray Langford, and it's 3-1. To 53 pitches here in the 3rd inning. And ball 4, his 2nd walk of the inning, and that'll load him up. Loaded up for Fernando Tatis, Mr. Grand Slam, the man who holds the major league record, 2 grand slams in an inning.
Walks typically have not been a problem for Arojo. 202 innings, only walked 60. Last year in 140 innings, he walked 60.
Tatis struck out his first time up. Going down again. Did that hit him? It did. A hit batsman, and that forces home a run. Here comes Edmonds. 2 runs in the inning now for the Cardinals, and they lead 4-1.
Well, like it's a slider that just forgot to slide when it got to the plate. Just barely even nicked him in the pants. See here, he tries to spin to get out of the way of that ball because it's at his knees. This is where you really be very careful if you're a pitcher. You got to those strikes, but they've got to be quality strikes, not strikes out of the zone.
All of a sudden, Arojo has just lost his release point, and ball 1 to Drew.
And you're talking about a guy with impeccable control, too. He'd only walked 4 so far in 12 innings. It's his 25th pitch of the inning so far.
1 ball, 1 strike to Drew. Drew, as we mentioned, with power, 4 home runs already this year. Rojo trying desperately to get out of this jam with no further damage. Oh, there's a good off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just enough off the fastball. Hit into right center field. Walker trying to cut it off, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Howard scores. Langford scores. Here comes Tatis. Throw to the plate. Not in time. A 3-run double for Drew.
Ball hit harder than I thought it was from Drew. I thought the ball would hang up in the outfield grass, but look at it off of the hand of Rojo into the outfield over the head of Lansing. A line drive headed towards the gap. Walker tries to cut it off, and really not that big of a gamble, fans, if you're sitting at home, because if Larry can cut that off, he may save 2. If he doesn't, he realizes anyway that they're probably going to get 2 runs out of the deal.
Well, Drew comes up with a big blow of the inning, a 3-run double. Now strike 1 to Matheny. Remember what we say about walks killing you in this ballpark. 2 walks and a hit batsman in this inning, and all 3 have scored.
Throw strikes and you'll win.
Two strikes to Matheny. Matheny, the 9th man to come to the plate for the Cardinals here in the 3rd. 7-1 St. Louis. Swing and a miss, and down goes Matheny. But Cardinals bat around and batter Rolando Rojo. Cardinals get 5 in the 3rd and lead 7-1. Drew the big blow, the 3-run double.
So one brought you
to this game brought to you in part by Rocky Mountain News. Look in the Denver Rocky Mountain News for details on how you can get tickets to Cirque du Soleil coming this June to Denver. Brent Bain will lead off. Rojo on deck, and then Goodwin. Pat Hentgen gave up the home run. Todd Helton in the 2nd inning, but now he has a 6-run cushion with which to work. Imagine Pat Hentgen growing up in Detroit, big fan of Jack Morris and the Tigers, and pitching for the Toronto Blue Jays. Wouldn't you know it, Jack Morris goes to Toronto, and there they are. Same locker room, same rotation. The thrill that was for Hentgen. Bain, you see his numbers on the year. 2 for 8 on this homestand. 2 balls and a strike. Bain, a lifetime .429 hitter against St. Louis. Back up through the box, almost hit Hentgen. Solid single for Maine.
Well, you know, you wonder with a new ball club in a position and the hitters that the Rockies have, do they have the same confidence maybe as the guys that were here previously because they know they can hit the long ball? Well, they ought to have the confidence after the other day when 3 home runs hit in the 1st inning, then they come back. I mean, everything timed perfect on this. Good extension by the arms, the head, concentration, the follow through. But the confidence should be there.
Absolutely.
I mean, after the way they scored runs the other day, you're only down right now. You're down 6, but early in the ball game, if you just peck away at it and work, you've got an opportunity to get some runs across the board. But Bell playing the same way with nobody out, down 6, and advances Maine onto 2nd base with a sacrifice by a row.
Chip away, chip away, chip away.
You have to.
It's nice to get that big 3-run homer or something, but until then, this portion of your lineup, you got the pitcher up. Go ahead and lay down the sacrifice. See if Goodwin can get Maine home from 2nd. You see Hentgen, modest 31 pitches so far. Here's Goodwin. He bounced out to 2nd his first time up.
He had such a short 1st inning. He didn't throw hardly any pitches at all. He had 9 to get through that inning. Second inning, fairly quick, other than the home run by Hentgen.
Unload a good one. Hentgen, his best year, 96. That's when he won the Cy Young Award in the American League. He did it with a record of 20-10. You know, the last time the Cardinals had a 20-game winner, 14 years ago. Check swing foul, 2-2. Well, that changes the at-bat, doesn't it?
There you go from that 3-1 count now to the 2-2 count. So it leaves Hentgen some options of what he might be able to do with Goodwin at the plate. Now he can go to that cutter or the curveball. Goodwin's last at bat, he had a ground ball to second base.
Strikes out Goodwin. Pitch just dropped straight down off the chute.
Well, you go to a pitch that you think you can use in a tight situation, and this is that slow curveball. The follow through by Hentgen now way over the top. This ball just drops right off of the table. Good job of receiving the ball by Matheny. Believing in your stuff. And obviously through the success that Hentgen has had, 68 wins. 70 wins now since '95.
Mike Lansing, he's come through so many times for the Rockies. Can he do it again? Lansing with 11 runs batted in. To Lansing. I'll mention Hentgen, the Cy Young Award winner in '96. You know the last Cy Young Award winner for the Cardinals? Bob Gibson. Gibson, in fact, the only Cy Young Award winner for the Cardinals, and he did it twice, in '68 and in 1970. Strike, 2-1. Shallow right field. Out goes Vigna. In comes Howard. Howard battling that sun, but he's able to make the grab, and that'll do it. Rockies get the lead single from Maine, but can't claim him as Pat Hentgen sails through 3. Still 7-1. Pat Hentgen to lead off against Rolando Araujo. Strike one. Hentgen popped out to Cirillo. Remember to start that third. Cirillo made that diving catch in the infield. Hentgen leading off for the second straight inning. The Cardinals scored 5 runs on just 3 hits in the third. Rojo got a piece of it. Lansing's got it. Throw to first. Wow! What a play by Lansing.
Obviously, you wouldn't have seen that type of range out of Laser last year with the back problems, but not now. Hentgen running hard up the line. Laser with a big throw and a stretch from Todd Helton. This is a nice play that helps you out pretty quick. This ball hit right back at Araujo, and you see go up. It looks like it hits off of the glove. If it's not defected, this ball probably into the outfield. What a nice play by Laser. That's all timing. It's all work. Stretched by Helton at first base.
You mean deflected?
What'd I say?
Defected.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Appropriate, too, with the Rojo.
Deflected. It hit his glove.
1-1. Fernando Vina, the batter. 1 out. How about Pat Hentgen? Out twice. 2 spectacular plays by the infielders. Vina, he started that mess for the Cardinals with that single. In on the fist. 1-1 to Vina.
The number of pitches thrown in the ball game, and you look at what Rojo at 67, Hentgen at 40. Hey, a lot of strikes. Those 3 walks and the batsman didn't help that.
Inside on Vina. It's 3-2. On the line, hooking foul and out of play. Vina's seen all these home runs. Suddenly thinks of himself as a home run hitter.
That happens to a lot of guys that come into Coors Field. All of a sudden they think they become Babe Ruth. They want to start hitting the long ball.
All 4. Well, control pitcher Rojo in this game, he's already walked 3 and hit a batter. Coming into this game, he had walked only 4 total. Now Placido Polanco. Polanco, a home run, his first time up, bounced out to Lansing in the 3rd. In, ball 1. The Mets are clobbering the Pittsburgh Pirates today. 11-7. Ventura and Nunnally have each homered for New York.
Read the newspaper where they feel like the general manager there.
Well, a good hit and run for the Cardinals. Vina was going. Perez went over to cover with a right-handed batter. Polanco shoved it through the hole.
Well, he got a pitch he was able to do it with. He got a fastball on the inside half. He was able to pull the ball as Perez broke to cover the bag. I was talking about Phillips and Valentine. Bobby Valentine went out and spoke at a college, at a business college, and was talking about how such poor business decisions it was by the Mets to give so much money to Todd Zeile to sign him at first, and we shouldn't have signed Derek Bell or traded for Derek Bell. That was a bad trade. It all got back. And the classroom meeting got into the newspaper. How unusual in New York. And Mr. Phillips flew to Pittsburgh, and they got it all ironed out before now.
Yeah, stay tuned. Jim Edmonds to the ball.
Have to see if Bobby Valentine disguises himself as a manager again. Gabe White up and throwing now in the Rockies bullpen.
Now, you were in New York for a while. You think those writers there are just going to let that story die?
No. They're having a lot of fun right now.
Bouncing ball, Lansing to Perez for one. No chance for a double play. A run will score. Vina comes home and make it 8-1. Of course, Polanco at second base, and another nice play by Laser.
It's really a nice play because I saw earlier in the inning had him range so much out behind second. This time over behind first baseman Todd Helton, able to rotate and make the throw to second base.
Well, Lansing with 2 nice plays here in the 4th. Now Thomas Howard, the batter. One of the things Bobby Valentine said, or at least allegedly said, I suppose we should clarify that.
Oh, you know, I always like these guys to say, well, wait a minute, I was misinterpreted. I didn't really say it that way.
Supposedly there's a tape as well, but we'll get to that later. One of the things he supposedly or allegedly said was that they should not have let go of Masato Yoshii now with the Rockies.
Well, you've got to remember, Bobby Valentine was in Japan as a manager for a couple of years. And his fondness of Yoshii was one of the reasons he came to the Mets.
Yoshii charting the pitches. He will pitch tomorrow night in Arizona. Bohannon goes tonight for the Rockies. Two balls and a strike here to Thomas Howard. On a play, 2-2. Supposedly one of the students in that business school has a tape of Bobby Valentine's speech. Bobby saying that he was misquoted. And now Steve Phillips, the general manager of the Mets, saying he doesn't want to know of the whereabouts of the tape and isn't going to look into it any further. Swing and a miss, and down goes Howard. Arrojo finally solves the Howard puzzle, but the Cardinals get one more. Arrojo avoids any further damage. We head to the bottom of the 4th. The Rockies a big hill to climb, trailing 8-1. Orlando Cepeda, Vic Willis played around 1910. Leo DeRocher was in the Gas House game, but known more as a manager. And Steve Carlton, of course, made his fame as a Phillies pitcher, but spent the first part of his career in St. Louis. Larry Walker leads things off in the 4th inning. Walker bounced out to short his first time up. Well, I say short, but it was actually towards second base. Again, the shift on in the infield. As you see the shortstop over on the second base side of the bag. Two balls and a strike. Well, Hentgen, the guy who was so successful in Toronto, but the Blue Jays, as George mentioned, feeling like they wanted some more offense. Foul ball. Hentgen with those 20 wins. Last 20-game winner for the Cardinals. Well, actually, there were 2 of them. In 1985, both Joaquin Andujar and John Tudor. Joaquin Andujar had 20 wins in back-to-back seasons, 84 and 85. Bouncing ball, well, they had Tatis positioned perfectly. Whoa, wide throw. Staying on the bag, though, Edmonds. Tatis got a little bit casual.
Look at it here. He's thinking he's got a lot of time, and he just flips it under the hand. And when you do, a lot of times you give that opportunity, the ball sails.
Foot came off, but back on in time. So a good play by Edmonds, who is known more for his work in center field. So he bails out Tatis. Now Jeff Cirillo. Carlton, I mentioned, known more for his work with the Phillies, but Carlton won 20 games for the Cardinals back in 1971.
Yeah, that's when the year of the big dispute with ownership, that he wanted so much money, and he said, no, you're not getting any money, but you can go to Philadelphia. A couple years later, he won 27 ball games for a ball club that only won 54 total. Right over the top. Look at this. Oh, I ran it right in on the hands. Got it right by Cirillo.
Cirillo fly ball to center his first time up. That one's too high. First of 2 today. Second game will start at 6:05 Mountain Time. No television tonight. We'll be heading to Arizona, though, after that game. Broadcast tomorrow night's contest from the Bob. That'll be on Fox Sports Net. Hit sharply by Tatis. Single for Cirillo. Well, his first 6 hits, all doubles, then the home run, now 2 straight singles for Cirillo.
Well, and for Cirillo, he has seen Hentgen before. Cirillo comes through. He's 4 for 20 lifetime. Gets a couple of base hits here. Tatis playing third base. Trying to get that uni dirty. Ball was by him in a hurry.
Hentgen homered his first time up. To the fastball for strike 1. Hentgen on this homestand now 6 of 19 with 3 home runs. That 10-game hitting streak that was snapped on Friday. He's done it a couple other times in his career. Safely to first. He's going to run here down 7. Base runners and big boppers now.
Well, Hentgen's a power pitcher. About 75% of the time you'll see the fastball. Left-handers, they get to change up more. See if he goes here. And back to that heat again. He likes to throw 2 different fastballs, one that'll sink and one that'll cut in on a left-handed hitter. And already, you know, that's kind of it's something you notice as a pitcher. You didn't notice it. Fans at home didn't notice it that quick. But when he fell behind 3-1 to Helton, the first thing he did, he looked over his shoulder to see who was on deck. He saw Bragg on deck. All right, now I can make a choice. If I miss with this pitch and don't get him out, obviously he didn't miss with it, and it looks as if they're going to get Helton out on a deep fly ball.
Pena really battling it. I don't know where Howard was, but Pena had to make the over the shoulder catch.
I don't think Howard ever picked that ball up. This ball's hit. See Howard look out and put his arms out. I hope you got it, because I don't have an idea where it is. And as an infielder, you stay with the fly ball until you're called off by an outfielder, and it's a good thing Pena stayed with it, because he was able to record the out. But to get back to what I was talking about, Pat Hentgen looked over his shoulder and he saw it was Darren Bragg. Now he makes a choice. I'll make the pitch I want to make, and if Helton swings and I'm able to get him out, great. If I don't, I walk him. I would rather face Darren Bragg right now than Todd Helton, the way Helton's swinging the bat. It's not a knock on Bragg. It's just saying I would rather go right at Darren Bragg than I would maybe a Todd Helton being behind in the count 3-1.
So he's not going to groove a pitch, even up 8-1. He's going to say, well, I'll still pitch him tough, and if I walk him, so what?
Right, and he's going to hit my pitch.
Helton, after that at bat, talking with Hurdle. Didn't like the swing clean. Tell by his arm motion. The word on Hammonds, by the way, is he will make the trip with the Rockies to Arizona, but instead of going to Phoenix, he's heading down to Tucson for extended spring training, trying to get a look at some live pitching again.
Well, what it does for a hitter, and it's very convenient for the Rockies to still have guys in Tucson.
Right around center field. Crowd thought it was hit better than it really was, and Drew's got it. We'll finish that point, George, when we come back for the 5th. Hentgen selling along 8-1 Cardinals after 4.
Why do I trust Meineke? I believe in the quality of it.
The Rockies make a switch. Arrojo goes 4 innings, gives up 8 runs on 6 hits. He walked 3, hit a batter, struck out 5, gave up those home runs back in the first inning, and threw 81 pitches. Gabe White, he's been very good so far. U.S. West pitching change, 368 earned run average, only 1 walk and 10 strikeouts for Gabe White. He was quoted in a paper today stating that in Cincinnati he had worked 1 ball game. He came over here and he said, I like to work, I like the place. This is a good ball club and a good place for me to be.
So Gabe White will face Ray Langford. Langford probably thinking, oh great, I'm battling this 0 for 18 slump and they bring in a lefty. Gabe White has fit in very quickly. White will tell you that he is a quiet, shy person by nature. I had a visit with him the other day in the clubhouse and we were just chatting about how he got to love baseball so much, and he said he really focused on it. In high school he was a wrestler. And all of a sudden started to figure out that baseball might be his ticket. His dad, a huge supporter. So take us back then to when Gabe White was pitching in that first big league game. He said, oh man, Montreal. Said my dad made the trip, and he said we all had tears in our eyes after that one. Big thrill. His dad's always been his biggest fan. You see 28 now. Florida. Has an older brother. Has a broken ankle when he was 12 and never really made it as a player. Former teammate of both Mike Lansing and Larry Walker in Montreal. Cirillo and Maine converging, and it's Cirillo who makes the grab.
Look right here, you'll see Cirillo. He gets over underneath the baseball, drops the glasses. Here you see his lips moving, saying, I got it. That's when Maine jumps out of the way and able to make the catch.
Now Fernando Tatis. Towards part of the thinking today, and again, we're not trying to read his mind, but part of the thinking for Buddy Bell might be Arroyo. You don't let him go too much longer, especially since someone's got to pitch on 3 days rest next Thursday.
Well, 81 pitches already in the ball game through 4. He's been beat up a little bit. Make a switch. Get Gabe White out there. You got DePoto fresh down in the bullpen. He's been activated. Tavares. Jimenez hasn't pitched for a couple of days. Croushore with the day's rest after throwing 3 beautiful innings against the Cardinals. Off days are wonderful for your bullpen. It allows you to get some things straightened out down there and get some rest, and you come back at full strength.
Three and one. Here to Tatis.
Well, hey, Dinger fans, including you too, Dave,
Absolutely.
and myself, we just love Dinger to death. Call the Dinger hotline and request an autographed baseball card of the Rockies mascot, or find out how to get a Dinger to one of your personal appearances. Dinger can brighten up any special event. Maine can't find the baseball.
Helton couldn't get there.
Yeah, that's where you got to come in, and you really got to help him out. And I see Gabe White shaking his head a little bit. Fans not happy that Maine was unable to catch the baseball. Able to catch the baseball. But you got to look. He's throwing the mask off. He's looking directly up into the sun. That's where Helton and Cirillo and your pitcher, particularly your pitcher in that situation, you've got to help. But I saw after the play, you see Helton here give chase and the ball bounce up on the warning track behind home plate. I saw Gabe White shake his head. Now, I never saw it, and that makes it very difficult then.
It's over near the stands. Maine's got this one tracked, but it's out of play. You know, in the infield drills, and the coach always tries it with a fungo bat, hit that high pop up to the catcher to end things. Maybe that'd have Tatis do that. He's pretty good at it. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Tatis. We were talking about off days. The Rockies ended up with one yesterday because of the snow.
There you go, Dave. Your chance.
Now, a little bit of us. I was ready, though.
Ready? You were flat reverse at 100 miles an
I had
hour.
to go back on the ball.
You no.
It was over our head. I had to go back on it.
I'm going to get you a glove. I duck. I'm smarter than that. I had him hit at me enough when I pitched. I don't need to try to catch him now.
What was going on with Tatis? Next scheduled off day for the Rockies is a week from Thursday. He's done it again. Hentgen coming over. That one's out of play. Tatis going through a box of balls here. He couldn't do this if he tried. Now, rips the line drive here by Cirillo.
This is great. You get to look at it right off of that low homer in the Rockies dugout. Robotic camera hit directly at Jeff Cirillo. Reaction only or self-defense? I'll let you make the choice.
RoboCam picked up that ball. Look at that top spin on that ball, too. That was fun to watch. Now J.D. Drew. Swing and a miss. Well, the bullpen has really done the job for the Rockies so far. And considering coming out of the spring, George, the bullpen was a big question mark.
There's a lot of concern among the Rockies brass how the bullpen would respond. But if you look at the bullpen, Dave, and realistic, I mean, Taveras has been around a while. Belinda's been around for a while. Myers has been around for quite a while. DePoto's here now, and I think it's tough for a general manager. Look now at Dan O'Dowd. It's tough for a general manager to say, got to believe in these guys. They got to know that when the bell rings that they're going to be okay. And sure enough, they have turned the key in the right direction.
Hit Drew. Got him on the wrist, I believe.
Yeah, trying to turn inside. Well, he did catch it right on that left hand. Again, another look at it from center field as he tries to hold his bat up. You know, I think he probably is looking for a slider away in the strike zone at that time, and as it comes up, he got a fastball right on the inside and hit right on that bone. Now, looking at it right now, what you try to do is see if you have strength. You know, always trainers will come out and say, you know, squeeze my hand. If you don't have the strength to squeeze the hand, typically you're out of a ball game. Cardinals, with the loss of McGuire, they're bench short right now anyway. It's tough for them to lose Drew and this with a doubleheader today.
It's the top hand for Drew. As he's hitting the left hand. Looks like he's going to stay in there, though. Drew hit by a pitch, second Cardinal to be hit today. Grimacing through the pain, Drew, at first, and here's Mike Matheny. Matheny has struck out twice. All back on the screen. Baltimore won today 5-0, and by the way, our congratulations to Cal Ripken Jr. Came up with 3 hits yesterday and has joined the 3,000 hit club. He joins 6 others in the 3,000 hit 400 home run club.
Congratulations, Cal. I've been a part of those hits.
Swing and a miss, 2 strikes. Cal, a certain first ballot Hall of Famer. The streak alone got him in there, but man, 1 of 7 with 3,000 hits, 400 homers. Al Kaline almost the 8th. Kaline had the hits, but he had 399 home runs to end his career. Phillies came back to beat Montreal 5-4. Phillies expecting to get their ace back in the rotation the end of this month. Schilling doing very well in the minor leagues.
5 shutout innings yesterday. A fastball at 94 miles an hour. That's good, not good news for the National League. Terry Francona said he could get people out now and probably have a little bit of success doing it, but the arm strength's not there. We need to extend out the innings and the pitches. 81 yesterday is what Schilling threw in his outing in A-ball.
There goes Drew, swing and a miss, and down goes Matheny. He has struck out 3 times now. So Gabe White works around the hit batsman, and we're halfway through from Coors Field. Rockies making the plays on the infield. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 8-1. No longer the snow-covered Coors Field. Sunshine today. Part of a split doubleheader for the Rockies and Cardinals, and it's all Cards in this one. 8-1, a big 5-run third. Pat Hentgen is kind of taking it from there.
Hentgen's been in full command so far today. The strikeout of Napi Perez, and then the strikeout here of Thomas Goodwin. At the out into the outfield, he's for the ball game, and I think he's wanting to redeem himself to all of baseball too. I mean, after last 2 years of being a 500 pitcher at 23 and 23 and jumping off here at 2-0, a change of scenery and a change of leagues obviously has done some good for Pat Hentgen. You see the 57 total in pitch count, 33 strikes. That's some 3-ball counts. Has been able to work back as he did against Telton on a 3-1 count. He got a fly ball for an out.
Perez hitting right at the Mendoza line right now. 200. Two strikes, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Perez. Disputing our truck now at the Mendoza line. I thought everybody knew. Mario Mendoza, a player that
played for the Pirates, fielding middle infielder.
He hit 200. Near it.
95 or 6, I think. I'd have to go back and look it up.
I think he hit under 200.
It's not something I'm going to lay awake at night and worry about, but that's where the Mendoza,
like 6 years or something.
Mendoza line, that's where it came from.
Two balls, 2 strikes here to Perez. Some people also call it the interstate line. So if you're on I-95, they'll call it the interstate line. You hear it more referred to as the Mendoza line, 200. You want to be above that. High pop up, left field. Langford, 1 out. Rockies were looking to win 4 in a row for the first time since June of last year. Right now trailing 8-1. Last time, this is unbelievable. Last time the Rockies were 2 games above 500 was at the start of the '98 season. Remember when they swept the Diamondbacks in the first 3 games at the Bob were 3-0. Then they went to a 4-2 and haven't been 2 games above 500 since that time. Single his first time up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rockies at 6-5, over 500 for the first time since June 23rd last year. Rockies have won 4 of their first 5 games on this homestand. 2 games today conclude the homestand, then a 3-city trip. Maine caught looking. A 3rd strikeout for Hentgen. Phoenix, St. Louis, Montreal on the next trip.
Go back and look at the last pitch from Hentgen right on the outside half of the plate. The low target. I noticed that all day long. The low target. Brian Matheny, and he gets the call strike.
Now Gabe White will bat. He was going through too many arms here. You got 2 to play today. And again, the next scheduled off day for the Rockies, a week from Thursday. And the Rockies know they're going to play the next 4 days for sure because of the retractable dome at the Bob.
Well, and part of that is, Dave, you go out now with 2 outs, nobody on base, no real threat started now, so there's no sense. Now, if you had runners first and second, 2 outs, that's a different story. Then you pinch hit and go to your bullpen to give your ball club a chance to win. No threat whatsoever. Allow your pitcher to hit. Maybe you can get through this inning and 1 more before he comes up again and give you 3 innings. Now, all of a sudden, you're into the 8th inning, and you don't tax your bullpen quite as much.
How many times did you hit? How many at-bats, do you remember?
Pardon me?
How many at-bats in your career?
God, I have to go back and look. I don't know. I hit 183. I know that.
You were below the Mendoza line.
I was below it.
That's not so bad, though, for a pitcher. 5 in the books.
Courtesy of Hell South. The action begins with the New York Mets. That's Mike Piazza and the boys coming to town at 1:05 p.m. The gates will open at 11:05. The Rockies are called today, and tickets still available for those ball games.
Here's Pat Hentgen. The way it's gone today, you kind of think Hentgen's a leadoff batter. He is leading off for the 3rd time in the first 6 innings. Pop foul, 2 strikes on Hentgen. His first hit as a Cardinal pitcher. He's 1 for 6 now. A single for Hentgen to lead things off in the 6th. Coming into play, he was only 1 for 18 in his career. So only his 2nd big league hit ever. I think that was the 2 he was motioning into the dugout saying, no, that's my 2nd big league hit. You don't have to save the ball.
Now, Tony La Russa came up on the steps. Barry Weinberg, the trainer, and they were all motioning to get the baseball. Gabe White was kind enough to step off and act as if he was going to throw it, and he's already got one.
Two for 24 in his career. That would be below the Mendoza line.
Just a little bit.
Fernando Vina.
Hey, look at this shot off of the bat of Vina right over the head of Tim Timmons. He's ducking. First base umpire up against the pads, and the catch made.
Into left field, Bragg backing up. He's got the range now on the first out here in the 6th inning. Rockies baseball. Polanco. Little looper. Maybe Perez going out. He's got it. Nice play, Perez.
Hey, look back. Nice play by Napier. We've seen Maine fight the sun. You can see here the squint by Napier and reach up, able to make that catch. Goes deep out into short left field to make the catch and turn around and check the runner at first base.
Hentgen still on at first. He led off this inning with his first hit in a National League uniform. And here's Jim Edmonds. Edmonds so far today, he walked and scored in that 5-run third. He's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss at some high heat. You see the first 6 hitters, they've done the damage. Man. Howard been a big part of it. Cecil Polanco, big part of it. And of course the big hit by J.D. Drew. 3-run double in that 5-run. 3rd inning. White works around the lead single from Hentgen and strikes out Jim Edmonds to end things in the 6th. Second strikeout for Gabe White. 2 scoreless innings of relief as we head to the bottom of the 6th, till 8-1 Cardinals.
Why watch the
Pat Hentgen, well, he's pitched like Cy Young form from '96 today. Hentgen giving up that home run to Helton in the 2nd, but other than that, he's been special. Just 3 hits for the Rockies today. He has struck out 4 in the process. Hentgen has only walked 1 batter. That was Darren Bragg following the Helton home run. Hentgen, he has been a tough puzzle for the Rockies to solve here today. For the most part, Rockies getting their first look at Hentgen, certainly as a team they are. But as George mentioned earlier, a lot of the Rockies have seen Hentgen before. Of course, Tom Goodwin spent so many years in the American League with both Texas and Kansas City, and he and Hentgen have battled many times.
Well, they have. And you look back, we mentioned earlier who they had been. Bragg's faced him, Cirillo, Goodwin, Hammonds, Hunter, Lansing, Ledesma, Manto, Maine, and Shumpert. Ledesma 2 for 3 lifetime against Hentgen.
Guessing, Goodwin have the most at bats?
Goodwin with 29 at bats, Cirillo with 20. And actually, Darren Bragg with 33 has the most at bats against Pat Hentgen.
Goodwin looks at strike 1. Reds leading the Dodgers 1-0. That one in the 3rd. Dodgers had their 5-game hitting streak snapped winning streak, I should say, snapped yesterday. San Francisco hosting Arizona tonight. How about the Giants? They have yet to win in their brand new ballpark. Pac Bell Park so far has been unkind to the Giants. They are 0-5.
When you look back, we talked about what has happened with the top of the order for St. Louis. Look at this. 2 for 11 for the Rockies. You can make it 3 for 12 now. The hitters 4 through 9 are 3 for 11 for the Rockies. Let's go up on top of the U.S. West overhead shot, and look at this. Fastball right in the middle of the plate. You got an 8-1 lead. You don't want to walk a guy like Goodwin, make him hit his way on, and he does. Goodwin does a good job driving the ball right back up the middle. What do you do here, Dave? Do you think you manage as if it's a 4-1 ball game? Do you try to put people in motion? Do you try to be aggressive here in the middle half of this ball game just in the 6th inning?
If you're asking me, I think I play it a little close to the vest here and see if Walker or Helton or Cirillo or someone can hit a big one. Ball 1 to Lansing. That's me, though. I'm not saying that's the right way to go, but
A good one on the years. Only has attempted to steal one base, and he was caught.
Bouncing ball. Tough play for Vina. There's one. Relay in time. Vina and Polanco turn it well up the middle. With Goodwin right in Polanco's face. Vina, tough hop, still able to hang with it.
That's what you try to do as a base runner. Come in hard, disrupt the throw. You see Goodwin come in, take the legs right out from underneath Polanco, and then you've got Edmonds at first base, typically an outfielder, but has played at first, made a nice scoop over there. That was a great play all the way around because you had Vina trapping that ball on a high hop, flipping to Polanco, and then the scoop by Edmonds.
Walker with a foul ball out of play. All right, they should have run. I'm just kidding.
Well, you look up now, you always ask, I asked Todd Helton yesterday, if you went up and looked and they had this type of an alignment on you as a hitter, third baseman, the only one on the left side of the grass, and unfortunately Walker's, one of his at-bats today, it was hit directly to Tatis with a wide open hole there. You see you have the shortstop on second base side, everybody swung around. Now your outfield's playing him a little bit to pull, but the infield way over. He used to do that same kind of a setup for Jose Canseco or even McGuire from the right side. They'd swing way over. Albert Bell was another. You talk to those hitters and you say, well, is that disruptive to you? And they say, well, it is when you look out and see the shortstop. But if you put him out of your mind and concentrate to swing the bat like you normally do, things work themselves out. Walker, a career .399 hitter in this ballpark. They may have gone up this homestand. He'd be over 400. He'd swung the bat pretty well.
Well, let's see. On this homestand, he is 9 for 22.
Yeah, about the same.
Walker last year, an unbelievable 461 at home. It sharply, and even with three infielders over there, it finds a hole. Walker able to squeeze it by Edmonds.
Yeah, they tried to put up an iron curtain on the right side of this infield, but Edmonds, a late reaction to the ball, and then it scoots out into the outfield for a base hit. Walker 1 for 3 today. Another look at it right here. A fastball, tailed it, but you can tell Larry trying to pull that ball. You see top hands roll across, shoot it through the hole for a base hit.
Jeff Cirillo now the batter. Walker on at first and 2 out. Cirillo, a single his last time up. Hentgen approaching 100. Took something off of that pitch, and it's 2-1 now. Well, Atlanta beat Milwaukee today 2-1. Mulholland gets the win. Remlinger, the save, is third. Atlanta 2, Milwaukee 1. Mulholland had struggled in his first few starts in the number 4 slot for the Braves, but not today. This is when you start to think, Cirillo gets aboard, Helton hits another homer, and you've got a ball game again.
Well, Hentgen trying to throw strikes, trying to get ahead here. He's upset with himself now, so he's wanting to get a pitch. You see him talking to himself on the mound. He doesn't want to fall behind 3-1 to Cirillo. Cirillo's average now up to 273.
it into the corner. Walker on his horse. That one gets by Langford. They're going to hold Walker at third. Another double for Cirillo, his 7th of the year.
Well, again, look at that Cirillo swing here. This goes down and gets a fastball and pulls it out into the outfield beyond Langford against the wall. Now, Langford does a nice job playing it off the pads, getting it back into Polanco. That's what held Walker up at third base. In fact, you're down 7 runs and 2 outs. When Rich Donnelly holds him up, it's third base. Now you got second and third. Walker, he's turning up. Everything out in front of you there, and a ball hit out into left field. Are you able to make those decisions with the help of Rich Donnelly? The left-hander out in the bullpen for the Cardinals right now. Moeller is warming up. Dave Duncan's out visiting with Hentgen right now with 2 outs. Talking to him about maybe a procedure he'd like to see, some things that may have changed beforehand. The job becomes much tougher now with Todd Helton at the plate. Something about this ballpark, one swing of the bat, it's 8-4 in the 6th. It really gives you a chance to win.
Absolutely. Now Bragg on deck. Now Hentgen. You walk a guy with a base open. Start walking guys though in this ballpark, and again, just all those free passes. So that's a tough call. Helton, that home run came in the 2nd inning.
Bragg now 5 for 34. Lifetime against Hentgen. Do you take your chances here with Helton, or do you go where you think you've had success against someone, even though it's an 8-1 ball game? Trying to get the attention of Todd Helton. Coming high and tight here with a 4-seam fastball. And then move Helton back off of the plate.
Looking to come in again. That one above the hands and fouled back. 1-2 now to Helton. Even a base hit here. Not necessarily a home run, just a base hit. Rockies getting a couple. Get off that single digit and you feel like you might get back in this ball game. Walker taking that lead from third. Helton outside the box now, thinking things over. Going over what Hentgen, going over in his mind what Hentgen has thrown him so far today. Helton thought right. Cirillo and Walker will both score. Helton with a big 2-run single. It's 8-3. Here come the Rockies.
Let's go back and look. We're asking Jeff Schenker in the chair right now. He gives us a great shot of this right over the top on the U.S. West cam. Looking at it here. Now watch this. That pitch is away. They're asking for it away, and then Helton drove it right back up the middle for a base hit and 2 RBIs.
That is going to do it for Pat Hentgen. They're going to make a pitching change now as Moeller's going to come out of the pen, and we'll see if Buddy Bell makes a counter move with Darren Bragg due up. So Hentgen could not survive the 6th inning. He leaves after giving up 4 hits here in the 6th inning, including 2 runs, and still responsible for Todd Helton. Helton with a big day, 3 ribbies on the day. Moeller coming in, and we'll be back in a moment.
Base hit, drove in 2 runs, drove in Walker. Able to come back then. And Now Bragg was to be the hitter against Moeller. The other night Bragg grounded out to shortstop. Those numbers and Hentgen's numbers not totally done yet. He's responsible for the runner at first base. Walked 1, struck out 3. Good outing. Terry Shumpert the other night against Moeller did not face him.
Mike Moeller is that new pitcher, his high ERA. So Terry Shumpert to bat for Darren Bragg. Held on at first base. Look at the Rocky pinch hitters this year. Man, 7 for 15. Down low, ball 1. She is a career pinch hitter. Not so hot for Shumpert. And a hot shot here to Vina, who spears it. And the flip to force Helton at the bag. But the Rockies come up with 2 runs in the 6th inning. Todd Helton with a 2-run single right back to the box. We head to the 7th. It's 8-3. Right in relief of Rolando Araujo. Cardinals lead it by 5 now. 8-3. Sean Dunston now will pinch hit here for Thomas Howard. Dunston will be followed by Langford and Tatis. Terry Shumpert, who came in to pinch hit for Bragg, stays in the ball game and plays left field. Strike 1 to Dunston. Gabe White has given up just 1 hit so far in 2 innings of relief. And a single to Pat Hentgen, his first hit in the National League. Only his 2nd hit in his career. 2 quick strikes from White to Dunston.
I really like what we've seen from Gabe White so far on the year, Dave. It gives you that added veteran left-hander down in the bullpen, with Myers being the specialty. This is something White can do. He can come into a ball game and give you some innings.
Playable for Shumpert. Going out. Gabe White now will go after Ray Langford.
Talked about the history between these two. Langford was 0 for 6, now 0 for 7 in today's ball game. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run in the 3rd. The average all the way down to 116.
Go down even farther after this. Shumpert, 2 down. Can't say enough of the job the bullpen has done, and Gabe White just continues the trend here today. Most likely it for White after this inning. He is scheduled to bat 3rd for the Rockies in the 7th.
Earlier in the 6th inning, as the Rockies were getting a rally going.
Under the glove of Cirillo into the corner from Tatis. Shumpert gets it back in, but it'll be a stand-up 2-out double for Fernando.
Look at it one more time. There we get a shot of this right down the line with your robotic camera. The timing device of Tatis as he brought that back foot back and then went forward and was able to drive it by Cirillo down the line.
And now J.D. Drew, remember, he was hit on the wrist. He's leaving the contest now for a pinch batter. as Craig Paquette will bat for J.D. Drew here in the 7th.
Well, if you're interested in joining the game day staff for the Rockies home game, simply stop by Gate A at Coors Field during the week between 9 and 4. Fill out an application. For more information, call the Coors Field Job Hotline at 303-312-2555.
You've got a job to do here in a minute.
We do.
Some Cracker Jacks.
About telling too, isn't it? Those guys are starving down there below us.
Yes, they are. So if you brought your mini TV and you're sitting behind the plate, get ready. Cracker Jacks coming your way when the Cardinals make the 3rd out here in the 7th. Fouled out of play. 2 balls and a strike to Paquette.
I started to say Jerry DePoto was warming up back in the 6th inning. Activated off of the disabled list. Give him a look-see here and let him pitch the 8th and 9th and get a feel for it, or at least the 8th inning. Then go to someone else and split up the 8th and 9th. Good to see Jerry back in uniform. Good to see Jerry back here at the major league level.
Sure is. Rockies starting the year without their closer, and he's back again. Jerry DePoto. Miraculous comeback, really. Rockies really realistically expecting to see him back in the bullpen until the first part of May. The 3-2 pitch. Waved down and missed. How about Gabe Wright? 3 shutout innings, giving up just 2 hits and striking out 3. Stretch time from Coors, with the Rockies trailing at 8-3. The first baseman moves out to center, and Paquette takes his place on the first base bag. Mike Moeller out there after getting Shumpert to hit into a fielder's choice to end the 6th. Moeller will go after the bottom 3rd of the Rockies order. Perez, Maine, and then most likely a pinch hitter. Nathy Perez 0 for 2 today. Rockies with a couple of runs in the 6th inning start to chip away at that 7-run cushion. It's now a 5-run deficit for the Rockies. Cincinnati is up their lead to 3-0 in Los Angeles over the Dodgers. That one in the 4th. San Diego all over Houston, 7-0 in the 4th. That one in San Diego. 2-0 here to Perez. Michael Tucker is homered for Cincinnati to give them that 3-0 lead. 2 balls and a strike. Bouncing ball up the middle. Polanco. 1 out. You see the scores coming in on the Coca-Cola scoreboard. Rays win. Mets have polished off the Pirates in a wild one at Three Rivers. The Braves behind Mulholland beat the Brewers 2-1. Brent Maine, the batter, looks at ball 1. Cubs and Marlins now tied at 5 in the 9th. Rodriguez is homered for the Cubs. Padres, Nevin his 6th home run already. Tucker his 3rd. Reds shutting out the Dodgers. And again tonight, it's San Francisco hosting Arizona. The Giants trying to win for the first time at their brand new Pac Bell ballpark. Giants have lost 7 in a row. Maine just keeps on hitting. His second hit of the day. And Aaron Ledesma will bat for Gabe White.
That's a nice job by Maine to stick it in and hang in there on that left-handed pitcher. And it was a fastball on the inside half. Now you can see where Matheny's asking for the pitch, and the pitch stayed on the inside half. And that allowed Maine to pull it over into the outfield. And a base hit. 2 hits for Maine today in the ball game.
Now Aaron Ledesma. Ledesma, part of that success story. Rockies off the bench. Ledesma and Manto, the 2 guys that have done the most damage.
Ledesma 3 for 7 so far in the year, a .429 average as a pinch hitter. Now Manto a little bit different. He's hit the long ball. His average as a pinch hitter. Line drive here.
Play. That'll end things for the Rockies in the 7th. So the Rocky pinch hitter so far today 0 for 2. They turn it on the infield. 7 in the books. The Cardinals by 5.
Number 1 in the National League for not allowing inherited runners to score. Almost 88% of them did not score, and a lot of that was in the 7th and 8th inning with leads in a pressure situation. And you take a look now at his career numbers: 49 saves, 27 wins, 24 losses.
He goes back a long way with general manager Dan O'Dowd. They were both with the Indians together. Well, to summarize this game, the Cardinals doing the damage in the first 3 innings, really. The 2 solo homers in the first and the 5-run 3rd inning. Tatis with a big hit in that inning. It was actually J.D. Drew who had the 3-run double. Helton has hit a home run and also has a 2-run single, and it's 8-3 St. Louis as we go to the 8th inning. Jerry Dipoto. Dipoto really the best setup guy in the National League last year. George, your numbers pointed out. Stranding of inherited base runners. What a job he did. Mike Matheny will lead off against him. Eric Davis has moved into the on-deck circle to bat for the pitcher. Eric Davis will hit second, and then the top of the order, Fernando Vina. Ball 1 to Matheny. Dipoto's velocity still not all the way back. When he is 100%, Dipoto will throw at about 93, 94 with a 4-seamer. Back that fastball at 88.
Yeah, it's a matter once you gain trust in the fact that you don't have that pain anymore in the neck. You have that trust in your own system. Then it's only building up arm speed. No matter of getting it back and arm strength. Be able to get the fastball back and that velocity.
Fly ball left field. Shumpert going back. He's got room. 1 out.
Maybe Dipoto, did he make too many switches in his delivery or not? The leg's still quite a ways over, which allows him to stay back on the back leg longer and to get up on top of that biting slider. Get out over the top of it. And able to get the fly ball out here.
Now Dipoto will go after Eric Davis. Gabe White, 3 innings of scoreless relief. Gave up just 2 hits. Did not walk a batter. Hit a batter. And struck out 3. Eric Davis hits it sharply to Perez. He knocks it down, picks it up, throws it wide of the target. Davis safe at first base. That'll be an error on Perez.
Now this ball hit over. Napier will pick this ball 99% of the time. He seems to step over and the ball comes out of it. Credit Eric Davis for running hard up the first baseline to beat this out and to throw wide of that. 3rd error in the year now for Perez. Another pretty good first shortstop. Ordonez in New York has already made 3 in last year and had a total of 4 for the whole year.
Yep.
Nafee last year was the 4th best fielding shortstop in all of baseball.
Here's Vigna. He's been aboard twice and scored twice. No ball, strike one. Vigna, tough guy to double up. Came into this game with a .434 on-base percentage. That's what you love to see from your leadoff guy. Anything around 400 is terrific. Popped up on the infield. Lansing calling for it. 2 outs.
Well, very quickly, Dave, let's tell some kids that get there. The first 15,000 kids 15 and under through the gates on Saturday, May 13th. They'll receive a specially designed kids cap courtesy of King Supers. Gates open at 11:05. The ball game at 1:05 against the Giants.
Ooh, Bonds will be in town.
You betcha. There's tickets still available for all of the games in May. You can call the Coors Field ticket office, the Rockies dugout store, King Supers, or just by calling 1-800-388-ROCK or go online at www.coloradorockies.com.
If they have any of those kids caps in 7 5/8.
7 5/8? That's a bucket. That's not a hat.
Well, not compared to Bruce Bochy. Bochy, 8.
What's it, 8 1/4?
8. Here's Placido Polanco. Boy, he has been a pest to the Rockies in this series. 6 for 10 in the series with 2 home runs.
It's kind of like Chris Steins with Cincinnati, making a career out of it at Coors Field.
Ball and 2 strikes. Excuse me, let me check the count. It's 1-1. 1-1 to Polanco.
Oh, he'll take 2 strikes if you want to give it to him. Photo will.
Yeah. These two teams, unbelievably, play 4 games this weekend here, 4 games next weekend in St. Louis, and then don't see each other again until the playoffs.
Much like last year with Atlanta, when we went into Atlanta in April and early series, they came here, and that was the last time we saw the Atlanta Braves. The Rockies don't go back to Florida again this year either. 1 trip in early in the season, that's it.
This year they start with Atlanta and end at Atlanta. Wild scheduling. Line drive into the gap. Shumpert cutting it off. Gets it back in. He will hold Polanco to a single, and moving to third, Eric Davis. So the photo having to be extended here in the 8th because of the error to Perez.
Another look at the pitch location directly from behind home plate. Trying to throw the slider on that outside half. It looks like Polanco does a pretty good job at just lifting it out over the infield. A 2-out base hit. You wouldn't like to see DePhoto struggle here. He's only thrown 9 pitches in the whole inning. You'd like to see him get enough work to get the juices flowing, get in a situation that he may be in a closer's role. It's an 8-3 ball game now.
And this might be one of those roles right here, even though the scoreboard doesn't show it, just the situation itself. First and third, 2 out. And a tough hitter in Jim Edmonds at the plate. Now DePhoto wants to make sure he's on the same page with Brent Maine. Cliff Floyd, he is homered now in the 10th inning to give the Marlins a 6-5 lead at Wrigley over the Cubs. Edmonds 0 for 3 today. steady diet of breaking stuff. 1-1 now to Edmonds.
Well, if you look at the history of Jim Edmonds, he has a difficult time, a lifetime 240 average, hitting a slider versus a fastball, nearly 300, and a changeup, right at 342 from a right-handed pitcher. So DePoto going to his strengths, the slider, and the weakness of Edmonds.
Now to Edmonds.
Well, and the slider at 81 miles an hour from DePoto, and we've seen it as high as 86, 87. The velocity, the arm strength, it all comes back as DePoto gets in better shape.
Cardinals, as George mentioned, hoping to get Mark McGwire back by Tuesday, out with a bad back for this entire series. Foul ball. Davis is at third. Polanco on again. He's at first. The 2-2 pitch. Strike three call. So DePoto works around the air. DePoto striking out Edmonds to end any threat for the Cardinals in the eighth. The Rockies still within 5.
Tonight, a family in
Walker. Tell us a little bit more about Heathcliff Slocum.
Used to be a former closer with a good fastball and a good split finger. Well, had a lot of success in Boston, where he was a closer on that ball club. And so far now, just the setup man here. Beers the closer in 6 1/3. He's walked 3, struck out 4, and give up 4 hits.
Last outing against the Rockies, a scoreless 2 innings. Slocum, guy that is a tough customer, 33 years of age now. Tom Goodwin singled his last time up. Will try to set the table for the Big Boppers. Those Big Boppers now include Mike Lansing, who has 4 home runs. 4 the total number of home runs Lansing hit last year in his injury-shortened season. You're getting down to that stage really as a hitter, especially a Goodwin, where you take till you get a strike.
The Rockies need base runners, down 5 in the 8th.
Ball, second base, Vigneault. One out for the Rockies here in the 8th.
Well, I think probably a choice for Slocum. Not only is he throwing the ball well right now, the fact that he's got a pretty good split finger that dives down in the strike zone, and obviously in this ballpark you don't want a lot of fly balls. They end up in home runs. So Tony La Russa choosing Slocum here to go out and try to finish this ball game out.
Strike 1 to Lansing. Same 2 teams conclude the series tonight at 6 o'clock. If you had tickets for last night's game, they're good for tonight. And it appears Rockies made the right call yesterday. It really never did stop snowing yesterday. Just miserable weather, and today very delightful. Lansing hammers it into the gap. Langford and Edmonds on their horse. Lansing at least 2. Thinking 3. They're going to hold him at second, though. Mike Lansing with a double. He was all over that pitch.
Slocum has thrown in 2 fastballs into the strike zone, and here he comes right back with a slider. Kind of gave it away. You saw his body slow down. Watch Laser out of the box, though. He's thinking 3 all the way. Puts the head down, going hard. Around first, looks up, finds Edmonds getting to the baseball, makes the right choice to hold up at second base. Get your big guns and Walker, Cirillo, and Hentgen coming up with just one out.
Well, here's Larry Walker. He singled his last time up. The shift still on for the Cardinals on the infield. Very deep and slightly to pull in the outfield. Ground ball, Vigna. Walker out, and Lansing goes to third. Lansing at third, but he's there with 2 out. It's up to Cirillo. Cirillo, a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3, a single and a double. He scored a run in the Rockies' 6th inning.
He entered today hitting .258, his average all the way up to .294 with those hits.
Fastball, strike 1. There you can see Cirillo, old school, just going to take a pitch. Now he's ready to go. Little tapper down to Tatis. Throw across the diamond in time to get Cirillo, and the Rockies can't cash in the double from Lansing. That'll do it for the Rockies. 8 in the books. It's still 8-3 Cardinals.
What do you think makes
baseball? This bud's for you. Now Jerry DePoto's still out there working around that error in the 8th inning, and also a base hit from Polanco. No damage done to the scoreboard. And now he'll go after Dunston, Langford, and Tatis. Dunston came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and stayed in the ball game in right field. Sean Dunston, longtime shortstop of the Cubs, came to camp looking for a job. Cardinals had one available. He was with the Cards last year.
Yeah, and he was traded to the Mets late in the year to give opportunity for the Mets to have a guy that could get a base hit, win a ball game for him. He did that in September with a big triple. And after fouling off about 9 pitches in a ball game, he was able to drive the ball over the head of an Atlanta Braves in a triple and win a ball game. So I think, you know, with Dunston, what you get is a veteran player that can still play in the infield, but plays the game hard, plays the game young. Still very good speed. Play all 3 outfield positions. Matter of fact, with the Mets last year, for a while, he was in center field.
I really like this Cardinal ball club, George, with the starting rotation that they have. If Dave Veers can do the job as the closer, and they've got a pretty decent bullpen. We just saw Slocum. Moeller's a good guy out of the pen from the left side. You got an experienced bench with Dunston and Davis. 3 flyers out in that outfield with Drew and Langford and Edmonds. So you've really got good defense all around. Good hitting, obviously, when you have McGuire in your lineup, not to mention the other guys.
Right, you got the 2 good catchers behind the plate, too. Marrero, who's a good catch and throw guy, and then Matheny could swing the bat and catch and throw together, too. You saw it today. He was able to throw Bragg out at second base by quite a large margin. So what you've got, you've put together a ball club with a very good mix.
Second straight strikeout as Dunston checks out.
Yeah, Dunston's not very happy. Neither was Edmonds in his last pitch either. What a pick on the rookie umpire, Laz Diaz. Pretty good pitch from DePoto. I would want it. Right on the outside half of the plate. A good slider, great location.
Did you ever see that movie, Dunston Checks Out?
No. Last movie I saw was Gone with the Wind. Has there been one since then?
Back in 1934 when it first came out.
I didn't know. Has there been any since then? I have.
Frankly, I don't know. Ray Langford. There have been a few.
Okay.
Need to get you out more.
Probably.
Langford, it just continues for him. He is battling. It's such a frustrating feeling for a player to go through a slump like this.
Well, that's where you go on your instincts and your belief that you can still play the game when you work hard at it.
Well, he got a base hit. That stops the 0 for 20 for Ray Langford. A seeing eye single up the middle.
Langford, who had had a lot of success against Jerry Dipoto in the past, was 6 for 10 versus Dipoto, and here he adds to the total 7 for 11.
Now, I know someone's going to call in and say Gone with the Wind actually came out in 1938. I don't know the exact year. I just know it was a long time ago.
It was the last movie I watched.
So for you movie buffs, I'm not exactly sure it came out in 34. I know it was a long time ago. Fernando Tatis. We're being told 1939. Is that a guess or is that your final answer? Final answer.
Did you use a lifeline to get the answer? That's what I want to know.
I want to know too. I think he phoned a friend. Although in Kerry's case, we're not sure if he has friends.
Hey.
That's mean. He does. He's got 2 right here. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tatis. Good situation for Dipoto, wasn't it, George? A chance for him to get his feet wet on the mound for the first time in 2000.
Well, it is, and it allows Buddy to go out and use him in a situation. But more importantly, I think, too, it tells the rest of the guys down there in the bullpen, just because Dipoto's back, that doesn't necessarily mean you have lost your job as a closer. They've used it by committee so far. Tavares, Jimenez, Molenda. Sure, right now, Buddy not liking the side of the coin he's on, trailing 8-3.
Man hates to lose, doesn't he? That's good. Fastball, 89. 2-2 here to Tatis. Chon-Ho Park will never forget Fernando Tatis. Chon-Ho Park gave up 2 Grand Slam home runs to Tatis. Not in the same game, but in the same inning.
Not a good day at the ballpark.
Not for Chon-Ho. Great day for Tatis. High pop-up. Out goes Lansing. In comes Walker. Walker will make the catch. And there are 2 out here in the ninth. That'll bring up Craig Paquette.
He's filled in pretty well for McGuire here. Look at his average now at 321, a couple of home runs, 7 RBIs. Played a number of positions. He was at third base in one of the ball games, at first right now. Bohannon going in the second ball game. It wouldn't surprise me to see him at first base in the next ball game.
You look at that bench. I mean, you include Polanco in there. And the normal shortstop is Renteria. You've got Paquette coming off the bench. Davis and Dunston. Pretty good looking Cardinal team, folks, and for the Rockies to take the first 2, who knows what's going to happen today. Good stuff from the Rockies in this series. Hammered into right center field. Langford on his horse. He'll score. The ball picked up on the track. No relay. The Cardinals add 1 here in the ninth, and it's 9-3.
Dipoto's been going to the slider throughout this inning and struck out Dunston with it right on the outside half of the plate. Tries to do it with Paquette. Paquette just goes out and gets it, waits on it, drives it out into right center field. Another look at it. Robotic camera over the visitor's dugout.
Mike Matheny now the batter. He has struck out 3 times today. Call it the golden sombrero in baseball when you strike out 4 times in a ball game. Isn't it Jim Tomei this week who struck out 5 times in a ball game for the Indians?
That is really a bad day.
Yeah. I think it's only happened, and they're going to walk Matheny. Pitcher due up next, and Slocum, the jacket on. Looks like he's going to go ahead and hit it with a 6-run lead and pitch the ninth to the Rockies. It's only been done like 35 times. in baseball history. 5 strikeouts for a hitter in a game. So Matheny with the intentional pass. And now Slocum will bat. Slocum batting for the first time this year. I'm going to look up what his career numbers are at the plate.
How'd you know I was right
they're already there.
over that?
They're right on the screen.
Well, then that's a little easier.
Just put your book there. 1 for 11.
Sue Lam is right on top of everything. Most pitchers look like they really want to hit until the ball starts coming to home plate. Front foot flies out, shoulder flies out.
Yeah, they got a good stance.
That's right. They look pretty on TV for just a little bit.
They stand there and hope and pray it's a ball.
One thing about hitting that I liked was when I didn't have to do it. Hated to hit.
You had to be a good hitter, though, as a kid. I mean, most pitchers growing up, you're usually the best athlete on the team. Start pitching early in your...
I was a pitcher in high school. Played third base a little bit till probably 5th grade, and I went strictly to pitching. A little bit of outfield.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Slocum.
Pretty good team in high school, so I didn't have to play a lot of places. See, part of that now, in a month from now, you see DePoto with a pitcher up and a 1-2 count. Paint that outside corner with the slider. Part of that's the feel and the process of getting in shape. Even though he pitched in 5 ball games at Colorado Springs, he was about a 3-week layoff when he found out the neck problem.
And he missed a lot of spring training. So this, in a sense, some extended spring for DePoto. 3-2 here to Slocum. DePoto has pitch count up to 37. Exactly what Slocum was doing, faking a bunt with 2 strikes, but DePoto says thank you. Paquette adds a run with a run-scoring double.
There's a lot more to working in AutoZone than looking up parts or ringing up sales. And it has to do with taking pride in taking care of customers. Like testing an old part before selling a new one. Or simply having what they need when they need it. In other words, it's about taking care of people who take care of cars. And that's what we do best at AutoZone.
The Chrysler Sebring convertible.
Todd Helton will be followed by Shumpert and Perez. Facing Heathcliff Slocum. Pitched the 8th inning, gave up the double to Lansing, but nothing else. Updating the score from Dodger Stadium, that one's in the 6th inning now, and the Reds still lead LA 3-0. Now Todd Helton off to a tremendous start here in 2000. The AutoZone player profile. Finished 2nd to Kerry Wood in '98 for Rookie of the Year. He was a football player at University of Tennessee, starting quarterback. A newlywed. They've been married a few months now. Christie. Helton was the quarterback before Peyton Manning at Tennessee.
Well, obviously, both players made the right choice.
I think so. Hitting .372, Helton. What's he done today? Well, plenty for the Rockies. A home run and a 2-run single. It's 2 for 3. His RBI total up to 13 now. He has the team lead in that department and tied with Lansing with the 4 home runs. You can see the pitchers are really trying to jam Hentgen this year.
Well, they feel like he's diving out towards the home plate area, trying to hook the ball on the outside part of the plate. So what you do to keep him honest, you just run the fastball hard in on his hands. Try to stop the diving. Step forward. There's momentum towards the plate. Try to time your swing to where you extend out, and that way you can hook that ball up into the seats, as Todd has on a couple of home runs against the Cardinals. The guy's in a streak like he is, hitting .372. You just try all kinds of different things to get him out.
They'll get him out here for Blanco. Strong throw to first. 1 out of the 9th.
They talked about Slocum coming into the ball game with a 6-run lead and closing the game out. If you look back at Slocum's career with Philadelphia in '95, he had 32 saves. The next year in Boston with 31, and he was traded over midseason '97 from Boston to Seattle and had 27 saves. And then in '98, Lou Piniella gave him a couple of opportunities to be the closer, and he only had 3 saves in 57 ball games, and then it was Baltimore, Memphis, and St. Louis. Last year he had 2 saves with St. Louis.
There's Shumpert. It's a strike 1. Shump came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th and stayed to play left field. High fly ball, center field. Edmonds. 2 gone. Rockies' 3-game winning streak is going to come to a close here. The Rockies will fall back to 500 at 6-6. Rockies and Cards wrap up the homestand. The game tonight at 6. Again, if you have tickets from yesterday afternoon's game, they are good for tonight. Case where Orlando Rojo fell behind early, giving up 2 solo homers in the 1st, and the damage done in the 3rd. J.D. Drew slapped a bases-loaded double, and the Cardinals scored 5 in the inning. Broken bat, 1 hopper out to Pena. That'll do it as the Rockies go in order in the 9th. Pat Hentgen goes to 3-0 with a win today. Rojo falls to 1-1. And the Cardinals snapped their 3-game losing streak. Thomas Howard had one of those home runs in the 1st inning. Blanco had the other. And the Cardinals were never behind in this ball game. They win it going away 9-3. So our player of the game, brought to you by Coors, is the starting pitcher for Tony La Russa's Cardinals, Pat Hentgen.
Well, he likes the National League so far. 3-0 on the year, 5 2/3 here today. Gave up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Going back into the ball game in command of a number of pitches. And here he throws the ball by Thomas Goodwin. Yeah, curveball down and away in the strike zone. A pitch he used very effective today, and also the fastball on the inside half.
We'll come back to Coors Field in a moment to wrap this one up. As the Cardinals snap their losing streak, beating the Rockies today 9-3.
New York, everybody wants